So one of the most overhated games of all time, I think, has to be Tears of the Kingdom. Like there's tons of games I consider very overhated, and of course I do think there are games that deserve the hate, like Sonic 06, Superman 64, and Bubsy 3D as well. But there are tons of games that I consider very overhated that I do not think they get the hate they deserve. It's mostly games that people hate for stupid reasons, like Star Fox Adventures, Star Fox Assault, are two such examples. There are some people who really hate those games because they're not Star Fox 64 Remake, Remastered, Ultra Edition, you know, as well. I think another overhated game is Sonic Forces. Like, yeah, the game is short, but doesn't make it a bad game. Not every game must be 90 hours long. It needs to have, needs to be, a gigantic, epic, RPG masterpiece. Some games can just be short and fun as well. I do think another overhated game is, that Pete's game that came out that, no one really talks about it anymore, but it's really, really overhated. I do think it is, as well, and of course Mario and Luigi Brothership, I think is really overhated as well. Like, really? You guys are hating on the new Mario and Luigi game? Like, yes, there's no voice acting, but even then, the most important part of Mario and Luigi is the gameplay, and they did and what I seen of the gameplay, they did the gameplay quite well. Okay, the most important part of Mario and Luigi Brothership is the fucking gameplay. Okay, that's what people play Mario Luigi for, not the voice acting. No one plays Mario Luigi for the voice acting, okay? That was just a nitpick I had about the game when the game came out, okay? The game, I had a nitpick that there was no voice acting, but a lot of Nintendo games don't have voice acting. And of course, another overhead game has got to be Origami King, because it wasn't more Thousand Door HD. Well, we eventually got Thousand Door HD, and guess what? We were happy. So, there was no reason here on Origami King, especially how fun the boss battles were in that game. Especially the leads of the stationary. Like, I know people hate the leads of the stationary, but at least the battles with them were still at least fun, except for the rubber band fight. I fucking hate rubber band. He can go die in a hole, but, that's my opinion on rubber band. But again, nothing beats the cake of the overhatedness of Tears of the Kingdom. Okay, I could go on and on and on and more examples of overhated games, because there's tons of more games that are overhated for stupid and dumb reasons as well here, and as well, but I do think Tears of the Kingdom, considering the fact that most people actually sing praises for this game and say it's a very good game, I really don't get why there's still a subset of the Zelda fandom, mostly 90s Zelda fans who think Ocarina of Time can never be topped, are still thinking that this game ruined Zelda forever. What about Tears of the Kingdom ruined Zelda forever? Okay, it's just, what did Tears of the Kingdom do so much to piss off such a small subset of Zelda fans as well? Maybe it was the fact the game was $70. Maybe the fact that they used the, map from the first game, even though it's canonically the sequel to the first game, Breath of the Wild. And the fact that they still believe there will never be a good Zelda game again. Well, guess what? They did release a Zelda game last year, but of course they didn't like the fact that Zelda was the main character instead of Link, so of course they didn't like it either way. But as well. But I do think the Zelda fandom has definitely gotten more toxic in the 5 years. I remember 10 years ago, the Zelda fandom was pretty good. It was pretty chill. Like, most Zelda fans, with the exception of the Wind Waker haters, most of the Zelda fan was very, very chill and very, very great. Like, most Zelda fans just appreciated the level of quality and love put into the series. Like, I might not be a big fan of Zelda myself, but hey, at least I played Zelda games as well, and I can still acknowledge the love and care that the creators put into the game. Okay, the only truly bad Zelda games, I think, is Skyward Sword, because of the controls of the game, not the game itself. And of course, the infamous CDI games. We will never forget about the CDI games. But at least those games gave us memes. So at least there was some good quality that came out of the CDI games. Unlike if Sticker Sellers gave us zero good qualities as well. And when I made my World Nintendo games list, I did exclude the CDI games on purpose because they weren't actually Nintendo games. They were developed by a different developer, and they were not actually published by Nintendo. They were published by Philips, I think. I think they were published by Nintendo, but they weren't developed or created by Nintendo. They were outsourced to another studio. So really, the other studio is the one behind the CDI games as well. But that's about this video here. And no, Zelda, the Tears of the Kingdom did not ruin Zelda. Goodbye.